Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. As usual, we've got Frank and who do we have here today? Frank, would you like to introduce our guests?
Today we have Melody here, um, technician in the field, 310S, I believe.
Yeah.
Melody, you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us who you are, what you do, and why you're here?
Well, I'm Melody. I'm 310S technician. I work at a GM dealership in Ontario, and I'm here because Frank invited me.
That
Yay, let's
narrows
go,
it down,
Frank.
Frank. Good job. Um, so, so you're at a franchise dealership, from what I understand, right?
Yes, GM,
Yeah.
GMC, Chevy, and Buick store.
Okay.
But not
There.
Cadillac, right? They split that, so it's not a
No,
Cadillac dealer anymore. That's interesting.
um, well, different dealers can have different brands. So yeah, we're it says Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, and I guess Hummer for the Hummer EVs.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. How long have you been at the current place you're at now?
4.5 years
Okay.
right now. So
So did you and you've been licensed for how long, Melody?
oh boy, it's been over 10 years for my license. Been in I, my apprenticeship took me a long time. I got stuck. Like I've been doing this, like actually working in shops since 2002. My apprenticeship took a long time because I got stuck in like 2008 and 9 when all the dealerships and shops were closing down,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
and there just were no jobs,
Yep.
especially for apprentices. So I went and did other work, like somewhat related, but not actually getting my license. So I was apprentice for quite a while before I got licensed, but
Okay. So maybe we'll backtrack a bit. So
sure.
you started off at a very young age wanting to work on vehicles, or how did this all come about?
I grew up doing everything on the farm with my dad, grandpa, uncle.
Hmm.
Just spend my summers on the farm, and it was like if something broke, you fixed it.
Yeah.
My dad was always the fix it yourself kind of guy, so I was with him growing up,
Nice.
and then high school took all the shop classes I could get my hands on, and was looking like in high school, I didn't have like, hey, I'm going to do this career. This is for me or anything like that. I was looking kind of between welding, maybe automotive, because that's what I liked the most. Went for a tour at Fanshawe College to see their program, and that sold me.
Great.
They have a
So,
really good program there.
yeah, I took
Yeah.
the motive power technician course. It's a 2-year course. So I took the automotive course first. Absolutely loved it. Went
Yeah.
back, took the truck and coach program as well, and then got started in a Toyota dealership.
Oh, but you're not a truck and coach technician, are you? You're just an
No,
S.
no,
Okay.
just 310S. I took the program, which it's not the licensing
Hmm.
program. It's not your trade school. It's a full time 2-year program of
Okay.
of learning everything before you actually jump into it.
Yeah, man, the
Um,
truck and coach is something that never interested me. When
I
I apparently when I did my apprenticeship, there was the first year, and it was they split it right after I did that. I did mine in
okay,
nine. I started my 99 2000,
yeah,
and the first year was a 310S and 310T together, and then they
yep.
split it after that. And then after that, it was a completely
It's two
separate program.
separate programs, yeah. So
Yeah.
when I was in college, I didn't know which direction I wanted to go, and I was like, "Hey, I'll just take," because you take second year over again, because first year is common between auto and truck. So I just went back for one more year, got another 2-year degree out of it.
That's great.
Um, and through that year, learned that I absolutely love diesel, hated doing air brakes. did not want to be I didn't want to be sitting on the floor rolling around underneath the tracks. I didn't want to be climbing on them to do everything.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I took that program and then just learned like, hey, this is not the direction I want to go. So I went automotive, and I am liking staying with, like the big three brands or whatever that have diesels, have pickup trucks, kind of the heavier end, without going to air brakes and stuff like that.
I'm
Can't
assuming
believe you
the
say you like diesel. I hate diesel work. I don't even allow
I
it in my shop.
it is it is a love-hate relationship. I love the technology of diesel. I kind of really fell in love with the old school diesel.
Oh yeah, with the simple
Because I
stuff.
also grew up with driving tractors and stuff. Like that's
yeah.
just where I came from. And nowadays it's like, yeah, the emissions are so much work. There's so much technology in it. And they stuff these engines into tiny little spaces.
Yeah,
So it's
and then
frustrating to
and then
work
put
on.
3,000 oil coolers on every engine, and they either any one of them could leak at
Yeah,
any given time. It's like
oil
no, thank
coolers
you.
and the GM's 3-liter diesel, the
Yeah.
Baby Max, is coolant hoses everywhere.
Oh really?
Like short ones, like little short ones everywhere, and they're all spring clamps. And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like,
But that's actually taking the truck and coach portion. Again, you didn't end up in that area as per se now, but that must have actually helped somewhat with even where you are now. No.
oh yeah, yeah. I see. Like, yes, you'll get diesel training and stuff through the brands. I'm actually signed up to take the Duramax diesel training program coming up in a few weeks here.
Nice.
Um, but the fit like Fanshaw's program, where it's like you rebuilt fuel injectors and you rebuilt fuel pumps, like because there's all the mechanical stuff. Plus, you got into learning how all the emissions are done because you focused on diesel. So now in automotive, I've got a really good base on the diesel side because I learned it all. Like there's a lot of things like I'm not going to do the air brake systems or really really heavy suspension, or like I'm not rebuilding manual transmissions, but it all relates.
Yeah. Well,
So
all that information, whether you use it now or later, like it's all really good knowledge to have because it's also something that I would I would bet a lot of techs don't have the dual side knowledge, right? Like most
yeah,
people that again,
Me, me.
I'm not a mechanic by any means. I've got a pink seal if that means anything, but I what I was thinking is if someone's basically doing regular general repair on Hondas or Chevy Cruises, Frank, and
Oh yeah,
stuff
I
like
love them.
that. I
They're
know you
great.
love your Chevy Cruises, Frank, but someone that's into the regular general vehicles, like they're not going to be jumping over to the realm of heavy duty diesel and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool that you actually have experience in both of those because that can always translate in some form or fashion to you can apply it to everyday use
yeah,
of probably where you are right now. And you never know, you get a random truck or something coming in and you're like, oh, you know what? I remember this thing when I was in this class, or okay, this sounds really familiar. I can actually probably handle this.
yeah. I'm a big supporter of getting as much education as you can. Um, I don't find it a waste if it's going to relate to anything that you can use in the
Yep,
future.
that's great.
So
Mm. Again,
I
I would stay away from the diesel. I've never had an interest in it whatsoever. I looked at it and I'm like, there's so much unknown in that.
yeah,
I try to do some diesel repairs. I'll put a water pump on or something like that. But anything further than that, I'm like, you really gotta want to do it. You have to want to get your hands in there because if you have no desire for it, man, the work is garbage. It
yeah.
sucks so much. But
That's what
then
Yeah.
I have friends that do it, and then for yourself, if you love it, they're like, oh, like my buddy does it. That's all he does. Works on diesel stuff. And he's like, oh, it's easy stuff. And I'm like, I can't be
you
stuck
know,
on one job for that long. I have too much ADHD. I can't do that. I got to be
it's
like,
Yeah.
get this job
They
done, go next one, get that one. I
it's
can't be like
good.
2 days on a job,
It's
three
good,
days.
Frank, to sometimes, like, as funny as it sounds, is just staying in your lane, like do stuff that
Mhm.
you're good at,
Absolutely.
Yep.
and
I think I think that's terribly
you get
important in this trade. Don't
like
do stuff that you don't know.
stay on the 401 and don't try to take the 407, basically.
Really, yeah.
And I think only the Canadians will really understand what the hell that really means. But
Yeah.
basically, stay in your lane and don't try to take another highway to something that you're not familiar with. And making a mistake in a gas powered little car or a diesel truck is two different ball games from what I understand.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that go to it. I mean, like even like you got a misfire on a gas engine. Starting off and be like, oh, spark plugs, wires, like your basics. Misfire on a diesel engine is a whole different ball game
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
And
thinking.
and no, most of the time it's injector. And how are you going to test a damn injector? That's always my
Yeah.
thought. Like, how are you going to
Yeah.
test an injector? Now you got to have
I
specialty tools for that, and you got to have special tools to pull the injector. Got to have special tools to test the injector.
Yep. I've
And
got a truck waiting for me right now to do a fuel injector on. So,
need special
mm,
tools
but
for the special tools.
yeah,
yeah, we at dealer level we don't rebuild any fuel injectors. They're replacement.
Yeah,
it
Um,
makes no sense
but
to do rebuild like that in house. That's what my always thought
no.
was like. I won't rebuild anything in house. Like if it's something that is a rebuildable part, I'd rather buy a rebuild. Like I won't do any engine rebuilds either because or transmissions. Like, if you can just buy something that has warranty and stuff on it, it's way better
Yeah.
for the customer than trying
it's
to
ready
work
to
it
go.
yourself. I'll even tell customers that with like rear differentials. If it's got like, maybe outer bearings or whatever in it, but if it's like an internal bearing or something like that, or it's going to be a carrier replacement or something like that, I'll just be like, let's just get a used unit, put that in there, and you're way better off. It's going to save you money. It's going to save me time. And then we're all happy.
That
Like,
makes
so,
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things we go that way. Like even with warranty. Like
mhm.
if it's under warranty, then I have to do what the manufacturer tells me to and follow their testing. But for every major component, like I just did one with a transmission that you need to diagnose it. They want you to tear it down and go and look and be like, "Hey, what are all the parts that need to be replaced to fix this?" And then you do a cost comparison and be like, is it going to be $5,000 to rebuild it versus a $4,000 brand new unit? And they're going to go with the cheaper price. The one I just had, it was cheaper by far to put a new unit in than to rebuild it.
Yeah, but so how does it work then? If they're like, do they pay you for all your time to do the tear down, do the inspection, and do all that testing, or?
They pay the time they think that it should take.
Hmm.
So flat rate,
Um,
I'm assuming, right?
flat rate warranty rates.
Which is very
Just
different from what I understand. Like the warranty times and
Yeah,
customer
you get
pay.
about 40% of customer pay for warranty. There's some that are just absolutely insane for how little they pay you to do.
Holy cow!
I know flat rate is a big rage bait topic right now online. Which, I mean,
Yep.
in a way, it should be. Like, techs are working; they should be, in my opinion, paid for the amount of time that they're working on something. I mean, if something actually takes an hour and you're getting paid, point 0.3 or point 0.2, I mean, if I was a technician, I wouldn't be very, very impressed with that at all.
Yeah, it's not fun. Um, there's yeah, I run into some stuff. One of my coworkers right now is rebuilding a 6.6 Duramax that had internal component failure, and the warranty rep- the warranty time versus customer pay is an 18-hour difference.
Holy
Jeez,
cow!
18
So
hour difference?
18 hours difference. The 3-liter diesel, just to straight up replace it, is 13 hours less on under warranty than it is customer pay.
Wow.
So
So are
So I
yeah.
these
like
jobs like
there's no
sometimes
way that
people
you're
just don't want to do them, or
Was that
like,
sorry.
oh, sorry. I was saying like sometimes when these warranty jobs, again, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but these warranty jobs that pay, way less than the actual time it takes to do it. I mean, do some technicians just, you know, don't take the job or just move on to another one, or how does that work?
it's really hard to give away a job. Um it's like because there's a lot of jobs where like through the dealerships you have to be qualified, like through the brands you have to be qualified to do certain work. um and not like currently we have half the shop is flat rate and half the shop is hourly because the rest of them are apprentices.
I see.
So the licensed techs are flat rate. And so some of the apprentices who are higher skilled, you can sometimes move the jobs off to them where it's like, hey, this is a learning opportunity for you. Plus it frees up a flat rate licensed tech to do better pay or higher skilled work. Because there's jobs like they're not allowed to do air conditioning, they're not allowed to do any electric vehicles, hybrids or full EVs, and they can't do safeties and stuff like that. So we need those particular jobs have to go to the few of us who are qualified
I
to
see.
do them. So some jobs will pass around, but then there's also other jobs where they start in on them and it's over their heads, and we don't have time to have two people on the job to
Yeah.
train them how to walk them through it. So then it goes the other way and it goes to a higher skilled tech. So there is movement back and forth, but it's you can't just say I don't want to do that because it doesn't pay good
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hand it to somebody else. I wish I could do that.
Like for the culture of the shop, I mean, yeah, if you like, you get 4, 5, 6 jobs like that in a week or something spread along all the techs. I mean, that really could put a damper on the whole vibe of the shop. Like everyone's getting, let's say, 2 or 3 really crappy jobs in the week. I mean, that's gotta be really tough. Like going home on a Friday, like looking at your hours and everything and what it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if talk there's been a lot of talk on online lately, um, where some of the stuff where it's the higher skilled you are, the worse your pay gets because you end up with the complicated jobs. Um, and I mean, I don't
Or
want to get
just the diagnostic
the
jobs that don't
diagnostic
actually pay.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten into that in the last couple weeks. And I've had to talk with my manager and say like, "Hey, look, like we can't keep doing it this way." Where it was like, "Hey, we need you to dig into this intermittent electrical problem under warranty." And it'd be like, "It's really hard for me to get paid for this
Mhm.
work."
Because
Like because it's warranty and I'm flat rate and be like, "Hey, some of these hourly guys need to start stepping up and, increasing their skill level." But and the manager has to figure out the balance between somebody who's going to take longer to get to the answer than somebody else. But
It's a slippery
so,
slope.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's gotta be a tough goal when you're especially if you're a really tricky diagnostic and then you're just like what does a warranty normally pay for a intermittent electrical diagnosis? Like I don't I've never worked flat rate, so I have no idea. But do you get paid
So,
like 0.5 or
well,
1.5 or
it all goes by what you're working on. GM is like, and I can't say to like some of the other brands what they pay. because I haven't been at them for so long. GM will be like, oh, point 0.3. Like you get 18 minutes to diagnose this electrical problem. Some of them will be point 0.3 to 1 hour. Um, and then anything beyond that, you have to do like straight time punches with a management's um, password, like approval in the system, and try and sell GM on the fact that you need more time. You have to
18
have,
minutes.
yeah, point
18,
0.3.
18 minutes is hard enough time to bring it in. My buddy worked at a crisis vehicle for a while, and he said whatever it's like point 0.3 to do an oil change. He said it takes you that long to go out to the vehicle, find it in the parking lot, bring it in, put it on a hoist,
Yep.
and then you're supposed to do an oil change yet in point 0.3. Like he said,
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah.
obviously not making money on that one at
I'd never
all.
make it as a tech for point 0.3. I'm gonna be
Oh
like, give me all the customer concerns. I'm going on Chat GPT, pressing copy and paste, pressing enter. I'm gonna print that sucker out, and I'm gonna leave it in the car, and I'm going on the next one.
yeah. I don't. I would never
Yeah.
have made it as a flat rate tech. I don't think I could have done that. I
18
wouldn't have
minutes.
handled the stress.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun some days. I mean, there's good to it. Like if you've got jobs that you've got it nailed down, you have your way of doing it. There's one recall out right now, um, that's coming in every day, and I've got it pays decent for what the job is. I've got it nailed down, and I can make time on it every time, but I can't. I am not getting that all day, every day.
No, that'd be
Um,
like working the gravy jobs and getting brake jobs all day long, right? You're not going to get that. You're going to get the
yeah,
really really difficult water pump job or something like that. But
yeah.
how about
It,
pulling a cab on a truck? I've seen a video of you pulling cabs on trucks. So how long does it take you to pull a cab now?
uh, I'm not real fast at it because I've only done 3 of them now. First one I did was a 2015 2500. I was doing the turbocharger on it, and I was just like, you know what? Having to get torches onto all the exhaust bolts down the back of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna pull the cab up, and I'm very glad I did it. That turbocharger weighs 48 pounds,
Jeez.
and
You need a crane for
and
that.
I'm just like, to try and get it down the back of the engine under the firewall and set in place with all the gaskets. It was hard enough when I was standing on top of the transmission. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? Some people can do this, but I'm short. I'm round. Like, it's just something like that. I'm like, no, the cab's coming off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now for the 3 liters. Um, I tried it. The first one that I did was like, I'm gonna try it this way, and I would not do it any other way. They're just trying, and I got coworkers who have done it, followed the service information step by step, and you can do it with the cab on. It is designed to be done that way. But I like, you're tall and skinny, and you can get your arms in to that spot. I can't do it. I'm just gonna move that cab out of the way and
Yeah, when you think of it, it's going to
send it.
take you a couple of hours to pull a cab off, and it's going to save you that and then some on the
Yeah,
job if it's going to be
frustration.
difficult. Hmm.
Um, Being able to reach stuff. Even with some how tall these trucks are, for
Oh
me
yeah.
to stand on my folding platform, whatever, and lean over the front and reach stuff. Like, I'm laying on my stomach across the front of this truck for how many hours of the day? It's, I'm
It's not
not young.
easy,
Yeah.
It hurts the body. And I'm like, I'd rather not do that if there's an easier way for me to do it.
for sure.
So, and I found because GM doesn't do cab off. Ford and Dodge do. That's part of their procedures. GM has designed everything to do with the cab on. Some vehicles they say to take the fenders off, and I'm like, well, half the cab's gone then. Um,
Well,
so
heck,
I started doing it, and now I've got, some of the other guys are doing it too,
I'm
and
just thinking of the last Chevy that I put a camshaft into, and I'm thinking, man, I kind of wish I would have just pulled the engine out and pulled the cab off and pulled the engine out to do it because what a job that was! Holy cow!
Yep.
Time you had to pull the oil pan off and everything just to get at the timing chain. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
So now,
I've
now, now everyone that comes in with a slight little tick, 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 I said, let's get those lifters out of there quick before it wears out that camshaft because that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I working
the
on working on a truck right now doing exhaust manifolds. Had four broken bolts. So of course the two in the front and two in the very back. And they're fighting me real bad. And the last one where I'm like, if it doesn't come out with welding a nut onto it, there's no room to drill it. Like, the options are either engine head has to come out, and then I was later, it's like, no, I could probably just take the cab off, and then I would have a straight shot at it because it's
yeah
just the firewall's in the way.
Was it a gasser or diesel?
Yeah, it's gas a 5.3. I think it's
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
17 or 18.
I've never had one of those not work yet. They're you'll be able to get it. You do it. You try doing that on a those 5.4 liter Fords. Oh,
Oh, I've done those. I came
jeez,
from Ford.
that's a reason to quit the job right there.
Yeah, that
If anything
strut
is,
tower in the way.
yeah, I think I have a 2011 or 12 5 liter coming in on
Yep.
Monday or Tuesday for manifolds.
Ugh.
So that should be fun.
I do not miss that about Ford.
10-15 minutes, no big deal, right, Frank?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I did the
No,
one. I
no,
did the
sorry, I
one.
should say 18 minutes. I would only
Yeah,
pay you 0.3, Frank,
point
to
three.
do
Yeah,
that
that's
job.
it. I'm that good. Well, I did that one TikTok video not that long ago about where I did the manifolds, and I think I was a full day on one side,
Yeah.
just getting the studs out. Like it was just unreal.
Yeah. I
Um,
am. I think I've got about 5 hours into getting these bolts out. The
Jeez.
the first one, which was the back right side, so cylinder eight. The second nut that I welded on held and got it out, and then I was doing the front one on that side, and my welds would hold, but the bolt was so stuck in that it just broke the bolt off every time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
then you do that 3 times and I'm down to the
Um,
head.
one trick
So
on it I'm gonna share with you now is next time you get a nut welded on there solid, okay? Get your air chisel out with the chisel bit on it, and get right beside the nut and just start gently chiseling on that while you're turning it. I promise you, you'll be like, damn, why didn't I do this years ago? You think you're going to wreck the head, but you're not. You're not going to crack the head. You're not going to damage it. It might dent it a little bit, but it'll knock it loose. It'll rattle it, and all of a sudden it'll start walking out of there. There's also these sockets or these adapters you can buy for your air chisel that you can put a socket
yeah,
on, right, and turn them. But usually you don't have room for that, right? You got
well
room for your
that's it.
swivel socket in there, but you get an air chisel right beside there, and you start rattling that head, it'll start to move, especially if they're that
Yeah,
stuck. If you get a solid weld on there, that 90% of the time that just walks them right out.
yeah. Well,
That sounds way too
There
complicated.
you go. You heard it here
well,
first.
yeah, and it's something I should have tried that. It's space.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I had my
I've
drill.
got a long chisel bit I bought from Snap on, like that long, just to get up in there, and I'm like holding it way back here, and I'm wrenching like this, and I'm like, we'll get this thing out. So
Yeah,
that's usually the win.
the one I had to borrow a small drill
Hmm.
from a coworker because mine doesn't fit. And so it fits in the space, but every drill bit I had to go and cut the tail end off of it to make it
Hmm.
shorter. So that
Yeah,
I'm working
I've
with a
seen those.
drill bit like this long, and I've drilled it out quite a bit, so now it's soaking with penetrating fluid overnight. So hopefully
The
it.
other option I've seen is once you drill it through, and if the extractor won't take it out, then what I've been able to do is then weld in the middle of that stud once it's already drilled out, and then it gets the heat all the way to the end like that. You can weld that up, put a nut on there, then it walks out too.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
partially what I'm working with is I can't get a straight shot
Hmm.
on with it, even with the welding tip. Like it's just everything I'm at is coming on at an
Hmm.
angle just because I
Yeah.
don't have the clearance for it. So I'll try. I've got the one left in the back where it's got a fair bit um, out, like sticking out. So try and get that one. But if it doesn't work that way, then it's like, well, let's just pull the cab up, and then if I have to, I can just unbolt the transmission or the engine mounts and lift the engine up
Yeah.
and just clear the frame.
Well, see,
But
this is the thing about going back to warranty times and stuff like that, where they say, this job should take 10 hours. Fine, you're saying 10 hours, but then you get kind of screwed up with these bolts that do not move, and you spend
yep,
an hour and a half to 2 hours, let's say, per bolt, and there's three bolts. Like you've knocked out 4, 5, 6 hours trying to get these bolts out on a 10-hour job that's nowhere near how much time it takes, and then they're only going to pay you x amount of dollars. Like it's
yep,
that's all got to get reevaluated, because if it keeps going like this, you're going to get techs that are going to be jumping ship and going to
yep.
the independents, and I'm
That's
not
why it's
for that
so
because I'm an
it
independent.
it's so hard to get techs into the dealerships. Now there is like I have an L87 replacement on the go under warranty, and where I run into stuff where it's like, all right, get the pull the white pipe off, and the nuts don't want to budge. So if I have to get the torches out, I'm like, no, I'm going straight time, and you GM can, or at least I can ask to get extra pay because this is beyond normal work. I
Yeah.
even had I couldn't get the engine separated from the transmission. It was just seized on the dowel pins. And I'm like, if I have to get out 4 pry bars and start trying to split this thing apart, I'm like, I want separate time for doing that.
For sure.
But whether I get paid for it or not, it's up to GM. That's every warranty job when all you can do is write your story and hope they pay it.
Yeah,
You know,
because
like,
warranty time is all designed around everything coming apart easily and not having any
Yep.
issues with not seized and not
Right.
living in
Yeah.
southwestern Ontario.
Yes, exactly.
but
But
Frank, it's like it's what I feel like is the big dealerships are doing us a favor by doing this kind of stuff, because this is one of the ways that we're able to actually get good talented technicians, because
Definitely.
they
they
run
come in with
away.
us, and for I mean, most independents that I know are not flat rate, for one, and I think it's just a different vibe. I mean, not to throw down and say anything bad about flat rate. It's just I I feel bad for a lot of the techs that are working so hard, and they're putting in crazy amounts of hours and just not getting paid what they should be getting paid for the amount of work.
Yeah.
It's not right.
I think in the general aftermarket shop, I think the flat rate wouldn't be too horrible because if you look at even the labor times, the flat rate and the regular pay time, that's not that much of a difference. But I think it's in the dealerships where it's really hitting hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I
but in
think
the
if you had something that,
independent, if you're on flat rate, like let's say at my shop or yours, Frank, and you see that, okay, well, she's working on this vehicle, and yourself as a tech, like this is going to be an extra another 3 or 4 hours to get these bolts out. You're going to say, okay, Mrs. Smith, well, sucks for you. I'm probably not going to say that, but sorry to say, but it's going to be another 2 to 4 hours to get this job done for you, because this is what's going on. And I mean, I'd like to say that you have a choice, but you really don't, because or we can just reverse this vehicle out and tow it out, and here you go. But we're going to need another 4 hours to do this, and that's what it is. But you're
yeah,
not
well,
going to
when
get
you're,
dealerships fighting for you like that, right? Which is unfortunate.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, when you're
And
knee deep into it, you just got to keep going with it.
Yeah.
yeah. And there's stuff under customer pay jobs where I've done it. I go to the service advisors and I say, look, you got to add extra time because this is rusty. It's covered a big time, covered in mud. You got the farm trucks in. I'm like, I have to chisel my way into every single fastener on this. Um, and then it's like, hey, if I run into a bolt that breaks, I'm like, this is, it's part of the job. You got to add it on.
Yeah.
Um, but it's when it's the brand that is paying for it, then it's uh it's a little harder to get that. But
Yeah, they want the most for the least amount of money,
yep.
which is I think
And
what we
there's
all want. But
yeah.
I think they
And I mean, there's between dealer and independent, there's pros and cons on all sides. Um, and it's just what do you prefer?
It's a different atmosphere on both sides. I mean, when you're when you're working for a dealer again, I'm not 100% sure, but you're going to be getting hopefully a whole different realm of training that's available to you, because you're going to be getting dealer level training, and there's special classes that you're only going to be getting because you are working at a big name retailer.
Yep.
And independent, I mean, we may not have that massive budget to send our techs out to all these places, other than taking them to one of the like ASCA or Vision or something like that, where our techs can get some good training. But we may be limited in the sense compared to the big pocketbooks of the big dealers, right? So there's a
Yep.
huge difference there, and I can understand why a lot of techs are like, no, I want to work at a franchise place because I'm going to be able to take 10 classes this year, and that's
Yeah.
huge, right?
And that's a big thing for me. As I say, I love education.
Yep.
Um, I like knowing what I'm doing. I like
Never stop
learning new
learning.
things. And GM particularly um, has heavy training. We do there's training videos you have to do every month. Um,
That's great.
there's courses like to get my EV certification. So I'm fully certified to work on all electric vehicles through GM. And so that's, you're up to 1,000-volt rating and
Yep.
stuff. And
yeah,
to just to get to that course, like you have to take basic electrical. So they're just web courses you go through, and you watch their videos, you read the slides, you do a test.
Yep.
And then you'll have like they do virtual classrooms. So you go in and there's 30 people and a teacher on a video, and tests at the end you have to go through. And then I like in this area, I go to Fanshawe
Yep.
for 2 3 day in class courses. So you're there just back like you're in college,
Yep.
taking a class. It's hands on. You got to pass those tests. And then for the bigger courses, I go down to Toronto for 2 days to GM's training facility down in
oh
Toronto,
wow,
and
Wow.
take some of the higher end courses like
Yep.
the EV course. And then it's like, hey, you've got a battery sitting open right there. It's got 400-volt charge on it, and you have to they show you how to take it apart and put back together and how to torque things and stuff like that. So every aspect of the trade has these courses to go through.
And not anyone can take a course like that either. I mean, it's not offered to. I'm assuming that's only offered to your franchise. Like that, they're not going to
To
have
the Yeah,
randoms coming in there for that. Like
no,
we're not going to get access to that kind of training.
no, no. You have to be an employee of the brand
Right.
to do that.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and GM's got really really in-depth training. Like I previously was a senior technician at a Nissan dealership. I was
Oh,
one
geez.
course away. I was one course away from getting my master technician, and it was bare bones training compared to what GM does.
I'm sure Nissan's
Like
your absolute favorite.
no,
You already know where I'm going with this.
Nissan wasn't bad to work on. I would take Nissan over. Hyundai, Kia any
Well,
day.
Nissan's got the best transmissions in the whole industry. Okay, let's just not even say anything different than that.
Yeah. I was just doing I did 2 front wheel drive transmissions back to back after having not touched any for 4 years
Hmm.
at
Oh
this
wow.
dealership. Yeah, it was 4 years between doing transaxles, and I had 2 of them literally back to back. And I was like, "You know what? When I worked at Hyundai, you didn't have to take the subframe out. It was like
Yeah,
6 bolts. I would have a transmission dropped out in like 2 hours."
yeah.
And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like 6 hours deep and I'm still unbolting things because there's just so much on them.
Hmm.
But
How, how long were you at Nissan?
I did a year at a
A year.
Nissan dealership. Yeah.
Like how long ago was that?
Uh 2017,
Okay, so
18.
you were in that whole time frame with all the CVTs and all that fun stuff
Yeah.
then.
So
Yeah.
so within a year, you almost got up to master tech within
Yeah,
That's
Nissan.
pretty cool.
That's
I
crazy.
was one course, like it was a 2-day course in Toronto away from having my master technician and one course away from having the Titan diesel specialty.
Oh man.
Oh
But
wow.
it's just, yeah, within a year you can become a master technician at Nissan easily because
Wow.
there's so little to get to the master level
Or
compared
is
to
it that they're
G.
just so simple to work on?
Well,
Simple, Frank.
when everything has been translated from its original language into English and then you're trying to comprehend what they're saying, it's not always simple. And but yeah, GM is, and I know like, and I've done Ford training as well. And I've never seen like Chrysler's training, but it's a lot more in depth. Like I've done training programs on just the individual electrical architecture platforms.
Wow.
Because GM's use, like there's 3 different ones particular, like there's like the old architecture and then they've got a global A and now a VIP and kind of the halfway steps in between where if you're doing data communication diagnostics, you have to know how the systems work or you're going to be lost.
Hmm.
See, it's good that, I can definitely tell where you're working right now. It's like they're investing in you as well, which is actually nice because
Yes.
from a lot of techs that I've talked to recently, whether they're in a franchise store or not, I mean, they're not getting this kind of training, or if they want the actual factory training for where they're working, I mean, they really got to ask for it and kind of beg for it because I don't know if you've heard from other techs at different dealerships. Like it's not like everybody gets to get the training. I mean, you have to beg for it for sometimes. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So when I started at this dealer, it was a different, like different management.
Mhm.
Um, I had to push for a while. It was like, hey, come on, like let's get this
Yeah.
going. I want a specific path. Um, but that was also a time where I had more senior technicians over me.
Hmm.
Um, but then like as people age out, injure, whatever, leave kind of stuff, where it's like, hey, I've moved up in seniority and now you have to have me trained
Yeah.
because of the numbers. Um, so yeah, initially when I started, there was some resistance to it. I had to push and just be like, "Hey, I want to do this. Please
Yeah.
give it to me." And there was no fighting it. It was just a busy manager who wasn't thinking along that lines at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But once we got it started, then yeah, it's been running right through. I had at one point they had an online course come out, and our is it a district manager, so like next up above the dealerships, said like, "Hey, you have to get another technician through this course right now." And they said like, "Hey, you take the like." they wouldn't give me any more work for the rest of the day. So take your computer upstairs and go do this course now.
So stop working,
Stop working and go do
don't do
this.
any flat
Go
rate
do
work,
training.
stop making money, and go do
Well,
this.
I would punch onto a training work order.
Okay.
Yeah, we do get paid to do training.
Okay, I
Oh,
was gonna say
My
that's good.
you're in the
At
middle of
least,
an 8-hour job. It's like, okay,
no,
punch out,
stop.
no,
go do
no,
this
I
now.
my dealer is good that way.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, like if I have to go do a training course during the day, I or even anything else, like we have it internal work orders.
Yeah.
And just be like, I clock onto them and be like, well, you're paying me from whatever account you're doing it from. It's just not going onto like a customer pay work order or something like that.
Hmm.
And then when I go for training, like when I go down to Fanshawe,
Yep.
it's just an hour drive away. They either give me a car or they pay my gas, they pay parking, they pay lunch, and I get paid my out like my 8 hours or whatever for the
Yep.
day. So you're not punished in any way for doing training.
That's
Well,
good.
that's
They
really
get
good. It's good that they do that for you.
yeah. And when I go down to Toronto, it's like they book a hotel, and
Uh,
at least in my experience, it's a pretty decent hotel. So
okay.
like you're not staying in the cheap motel out by the airport.
Yeah.
It's something decent. So
Yeah. Have you gone to any training outside of Canada? Like, I know, like
no,
Frank's going to Tools coming up in Pennsylvania.
At the end of the month,
no,
yep.
no, I haven't done
Have you heard
anything.
much about those different conferences or?
I hear about the conferences. Some of them are pretty interesting, but it would be on my own vacation time
I see.
to
Okay.
go to them. There's someone I would love to take is some of Hunter's alignment training courses.
Oh yeah.
Um, I've kind of looked into them and see like because I do a lot of the alignments, and it's like, hey, I would love higher level training for some of the more complicated problems. Um, but their training, you have to start out at level one, do your basic course, and then do your level two, your level three. They're like $800 a person,
Hmm.
and and I think they have Fanshawe listed as a training center,
Oh yeah.
but the training guy is somewhere north of Toronto, so I don't know if they
There
even
is
use
one
Fanshawe.
apparently coming to Canada. I saw it somewhere in my feed that there is the guy from Hunter is coming for a training sometime soon. So if I see that, I can relay it to you. But I
Yeah,
remember seeing Hunter in particular. I think he's on my Facebook, one of the guys from there. But I'm almost positive I remember seeing that there's a training coming up here somewhere.
yeah, because I see the one guy on TikTok, but he's in the southern states.
Okay.
And he does really good presentations. I like his videos. Um, and he says there is a guy in Ontario, so it's somewhere north of Toronto, but I've never come across anything specific about it or when they run courses or when they'll have them.
Yep.
Um, it would be interesting. I just for me to pay $800 per course myself is kind of steep, but
Well,
Yeah,
something
and
like
all
that.
that just to get like 0.1% better at an alignment that you're already
yeah,
getting paid to do, right? Unless
yeah,
it's something that you can't do an alignment job and then you lose the job for it, then it might be worth it if you got a few more of those a day. But if you're spending 800
yeah.
bucks on something that you're like, it's hard to justify
Well,
it sometimes.
yeah, it's kind of looking at is like how much extra am I going to get out of this? Like,
Hmm.
a few tips and tricks. And we get some stuff like from body shops. We've got a few body shops around us, um, and we might be the only ones in town that do alignments.
Oh wow.
Um, Maybe one other small shop, but I know the Chrysler dealership doesn't have an alignment rack because they send their stuff to us. Um, so we're getting some stuff from body shops, and it's like, hey, like, this isn't making sense. This is still pulling. Like, and you get into it's like that advanced training on how to find damaged parts when you
Yep.
can't visually see it. I'd love to get into that because I never got that in trade school.
Have you ever have you ever taken apart the plates, like the plates at
Yeah.
the front
The
wheels
turn
going,
plates. Yeah.
and you see what's inside, all the little ball bearings that
All
are in there?
plastic balls. Yeah. Yeah. We just redid ours. Just had replaced all the balls. I noticed a couple of them were broken.
Or out of
And
place, and then when you kind of clean it up, you're like, oh, this really moves smooth now.
yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, and soon
So
you won't even need those turn plates anymore. Well, you'll need the turn plates, but you won't need an alignment rack. I seen uh, advertisement for Autel is coming out with this new alignment system that's done just on the ground with
oh yeah,
both the heads
on the
on and
hoist
control back and
actually,
forth.
something on the hoist I think I saw.
Well, I've seen one of those too that you can do one on a 2 post hoist, but this one new one that's coming out from Autel, it's dry on the ground. Or you could do it on a drive on hoist, but you don't need like an alignment rack to do it. I'm like,
Hmm, that's
maybe
interesting.
that's the only way I'll ever be able to get into doing alignments because I don't have the space for it. But just yeah,
Yeah.
just a tablet and a couple of heads and then a turn plate or something like that. Now, if you go,
That
you know,
seems,
I know
I
when you think
mean,
of what a traditional alignment is, you think of like, I don't know if that's going to work because you really need to be underneath there, but
well,
maybe it works.
yeah. And you need, and the vehicle needs to be level. Like,
Yeah, and do
I
your
mean, like
sweeps and all that.
alignment racks are supposed to be like precision leveled.
Level. I
Whether
mean,
they stay that way or not, but I
Supposed
am
to be.
supposed
half
to be.
of us
I'm
are not
always
even
like,
level-headed. The car's not level. The ground's not level.
yeah,
It'll go straight
it's
enough, right,
supposed
Frank?
it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. I've seen people do alignments with it not sitting on the locks.
Oh,
And
geez.
I'm like, you wonder why your numbers are off. Like, it because no hoist lifts perfectly level.
No.
And I'm like, you need to set that down on the locks so that it's as level as it possibly can be.
We actually had today. Um, I was free somehow for like 6 minutes today, so I decided to help, and I was like, okay, I'll drive I'll lead the guy on to the alignment hoist. So obviously, I let him on there, and it was a little bit over to one side, and he's lifting it up, and then it's not locking properly. Then he looks again, he's like, yeah, no, you're not leading me on the alignment rack anymore. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
He could have done it better himself.
So,
Um,
Melody, where do you see yourself in the future? Is where you are right now something that is like a solid location that you feel like you're going to be there for a while, or have you ever thought about branching off on your own to become an independent at all, or is that
I have no interest in owning a business.
that
you
was
don't
me
want to
It
for
open up your own
20 years.
Melody's
no.
auto repair? No, nothing.
No, I have been asked that over and over again through the years, and I just don't have interest in any of the business side of it.
Yep.
Just let me be a mechanic.
Yeah.
Um, I'm hoping this place is a solid like retirement plan. Um, like I'm not delusional that things might never go wrong.
Mhm.
Um, but I did a lot of moving around through the tougher years where there was just not a whole lot of work
Yeah.
give to go around. And I didn't like that. I don't like starting a new job, try getting used to new places. Like
Yeah. It's not easy.
the, this place is set up well for me. It's close to home. Um,
And that
it's I
that goes a long way, right? Like not having to have a huge drive close and
Yep.
familiarity, right? That goes a long way.
Yep. And it's where I grew up. Like I'm working in the town where I went to high school. So I got a lot of friends. I've got a good customer base going. Like people know me. They
Yep.
request me, say, "Hey, I want her to work on my vehicle."
Yep.
Um,
Whoa.
you don't get that if you jump around.
No, not at all.
Um, some big things like um, my dealership is owned by a female.
Mhm. Oh, wow, okay.
It's a family business. Has been Um, oh gosh, we're 103 years,
Only,
103 years in the family.
only. Jeez.
Um, so I started like under the dad, and
Yeah,
now it's the daughter um, owns it, and so having a female own the dealership,
that's awesome.
there there's just no allowance for hatred for a female being in the shop.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
ask that question yet. Like
I
in
You
your
beat me to
career,
it.
has
Yeah.
the fact of being a female held you back in any way, shape, or form? Or
Yes,
yeah,
yes. So this area, um, it is very, very conservative. We have a fair population of, um, so I want to say like Dutch and German populations, were like kind of your old school, like um, Christian Reformed, Mennonite. So like your
woo-hoo, go Mennonite.
older ways. Yeah. Your older ways of like it's the man has the job, the woman has the kids,
Hmm.
Yeah.
everybody's homeschooled, stuff like that, which works great. A lot of people, a lot of friends in that. It doesn't fit me. Um, but when I jumped into this trade and started working, it really messed a lot of people up. And I've been told that like from other technicians and managers and stuff around, where they knew about me 10 years prior when I was working somewhere else,
Yeah.
because people were upset that there's a girl doing this, and going beyond a lube tech, like actually jumping into a
Yeah.
apprenticeship. Um, and it messed people up. They didn't like it, and I ran into a lot of a lot of coworkers, a lot of customers who, I mean, and to varying degrees. I've had every degree of, um, I actually had a customer when he found out that I was working on his truck want to take his truck away. I said, no, she's not, like, stop. Like, did not want me to continue working on his vehicle.
Hmm. That's
Right up
horrible.
to, congratulations, and that's awesome, and all that kind of stuff. Um, I've
But yeah,
I've had
it's
it.
unfortunate though that you had to go through that because they're really in this industry with the shortage of amount of people that are coming into the industry, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man. I mean, y- anybody can work on vehicles. It shouldn't matter at all. But
No,
it's
it shouldn't.
unfortunate that you had to go through all that, and obviously it's discouragement, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
you're
It
trying your
was.
best, and then you have to hear it from the man. Like it's a
And,
very
and
Yeah,
unfortunate.
here you went and proved them all wrong. So that's kudos to
Yeah,
you for being able to
yeah,
do
big
that and
yeah.
sticking
big
it
you
out,
to them.
even when
It
people
yeah.
don't
It
believe
was
it.
very hard. If you had told me back when I was in high school the kind of things that I was going to have to face in the
Hmm.
trade, I would not have done it, because it'd be like, hey, that's not worth it. But I'm stubborn. And I was like, I am going to, like, I set a goal. It's like, I'm going to get my license and then decide whether I stay in the trade or not. Because then at least I have the license. I have something that I can say, hey, I can do this job. Um, yeah, there was a lot of pushback. It was very hard to get jobs.
Hmm.
Say like around like through 2008 and 9, when all the dealerships were shutting down, independent shops, like we lost a lot in my area.
Yeah.
And if there was a job posting back, like even back when you would see them in the newspaper, I would go take my resume, walk into a manager's office, say, I'm here to apply for this job. And he'd point to his desk and say, put it on top of the pile. And there would be a pile of 30 resumes,
Wow.
just
Wow.
because there were so many technicians of every level and no jobs. And nowadays it's completely flipped.
Big time.
Exactly
Like
the
I
opposite. Yep.
I've found a good place. I've got somewhere I want to stay.
Yeah.
And now I've got people, you know,
Trying to recruit you all day long.
trying to recruit me. Like, it's crazy how much it's flipped.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, I went through the hard stuff. I'm so happy that it's changed. I see so many of these younger female techs online, and they're like, just do it, like you can do
Yep.
it, your coworkers and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm so glad it's changed,
No, that's excellent.
because the few of us who are older were like, it wasn't like that when we were doing it.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great that people are coming around and realizing that it's not just a one-sided field.
Yeah.
Whether you're a service advisor or whether you're a tech. I mean, there was a time. Again, Frank, you're 2 or 3 years older than me, but I know there was a
Just a
time
few.
where hey, I'm trying to be nice. But there was a time where service advisors were probably all men, and you probably wouldn't have very many women telling the customers and the public, like, hey, you have an oxygen sensor that's gone bad, and you need to get this replaced, and you got a tie rod out in the front right, and you need alignment. So they probably look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we still get that pushback in the shop with Margarita, and now we got another girl in the office there,
You
and
just
we
need a
still
bigger
get that
hammer in the
pushback.
front office.
Yeah, they do, but they get that pushback where they're like, "Oh, I want to talk to the mechanic." Margarita had one the other day where he's like, "Oh, no, I got to tell him," and she's like, "Nope, you're telling me." And if I don't know the answer, I will go talk to him. But she was able to answer all of his questions, and
Yeah.
people are blown away. Like, how can a woman know this? Women are a lot smarter than men. Like, come on.
That's just
Yeah.
it. Like,
She's hollering in the background. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, and you see like why so many women are afraid that they're going to get screwed over at the mechanics. And I
Yeah.
said, yeah, there's absolutely bad mechanics out there, and it happens. I have dealt with it. I had a fight at the place where I work way back. I was a customer when I wasn't working in a shop. I needed some work done on my truck, and I took it there, and I full out fought with the service advisor. And the manager sided with me, said, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I'm going to make this right. um, but that was my first interaction with the place, was where it's like, no, the service advisor was fighting me on it, and I'm like, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So like, for women who are like, they don't have their dad around, or a brother or a husband, and they're terrified.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if they go in and there's a female service advisor or a manager, or, oh my goodness, a female mechanic, they
Yeah.
love it, because they find out that I work there, and they want to talk to me. And I,
Yeah.
I got no problem. Absolutely. I will come out and explain it to you,
Yeah.
even if I'm not working on your vehicle, because then you have more trust, and you're more willing
Makes them more
to,
comfortable for
to,
sure.
to pay, like to pay for us to have work.
Well, I mean, you
Hmm.
Um,
you being in the industry, definitely, I'm sure has been an inspiration for other aspiring women that are trying to
hopefully.
get into the industry, but they don't have someone to kind of look up to and be like, oh, okay, well, she did it, or she did it. There's not enough. So it's great that you're sticking with it and you're enjoying what you do, because
Absolutely.
that's the only way that we're going to get more men and women into it, because
Yeah.
they got to have good role models. But as long as they're not watching the wrong TikToks and the wrong Facebook reels of the people that are doing it
Yeah.
wrong, then they're getting the right information and getting the right inspiration to actually join a trade that's rewarding, fun, and it's a career. It's not just a job. It's a career, right? It's something that you can do for a very long time and be successful at it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah. No.
that's awesome. And Melody, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us this evening, taking some time. Um, we took more than your point 0.3 flat rate, 18 minutes of your time tonight. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate it. And Frank, as always, you're awesome at finding us really, really good guests. So appreciate that.
Yep.
And
Anytime. I'm looking forward to it. I got a couple more lined up that I think are going to be really good. And this was an awesome podcast. I hope that the video and audio worked out real well, and we'll be able to post this because I think this was great, and it's great to have you on, Melody, and so that you
Yeah,
can we can get your story out to more people, and be like, hey, you know what? There's women in the trade, and they're doing really well, and they can do really well. So appreciate you having me on here, and
yeah.
look forward
I
to talking to you again.
Yeah, for sure. I like this.
Yep. Thanks, Melody. Just hang on a second here, but I
Yeah.
really appreciate it.